So we can help that in part by a more friendly business tax code that will attract businesses here and keep those that are here. I wanted to mention that one of the, I think, strongest pieces of the business and economic stimulus tax plan that we've proposed in the Senate is to allow businesses with gross receipts under $15 million to be able to elect either paying a modified gross receipts tax or an income tax. And then we've also smoothed the threshold over $15 million. All in all, I'm told, and these numbers come from Senate Fiscal, that approximately 90% of all our businesses will see reduced tax liability. And in a state like Michigan that is hungering, if you will, for tax relief, for relief from overburdensome regulations, this may be a good sign. Now let me leave it that this still has to go through the same process of negotiations. And we are prepared to do that and prepared to say why this plan is so competitive, so entrepreneurial, so job creating. In the time that we do have left, let me ask you about some other things that Senate Fiscal Agency is doing right now. In addition to giving all of us information about the budget and the revenues on a monthly basis, how do you prepare for the revenue consensus conference that's upcoming?
Okay, that's a very good question. As economists, we monitor what's going on in the economy. We try and keep up on a daily basis what's going on, what's happening nationally. Because still, even with the problems that we're having, the biggest thing that has an impact on Michigan's economy is the national economy. Because we participate in the overall market, in the national economy, and people buy Michigan goods, Michigan cars. And so the national economy is really, the better the national economy is doing, the better Michigan is doing. So we watch the national economy very closely. We also talk to other economists. We talk very closely with the economists at the auto companies. And we go meet with them every year, and we keep in touch and get their point of view on what's going on. So that's very important to do also. And we buy some other forecasts. There are professional forecast services out there that do very detailed economic forecasts, and we purchase those and read their ideas and their views and try and learn from them also. So it's an ongoing process where we just try and keep up on what's going on in the economy, and then in addition we keep track of the revenues, what's going on with the revenues, how they're coming in compared to our estimates. And so just monitoring what's going on, both on the revenue side and the economic side.
And then reporting, because ultimately good data will help policymakers make the best decisions.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What are you predicting right now will be the budget deficit for the 07-08 year, if you can?
Wow. That's a really hard question to answer at this point in time, because there's so much uncertainty about even how we're going to solve the 07 problem, and that's going to carry over then into 08. If I mean, we're facing now, as you said, about $1 billion problem in 07. If we could face another $1 billion problem in 08. Hopefully what we do to solve the 07 problem will help solve the 08 problem, and therefore we have a smaller deficit facing us in 08.
Exactly, and then as one of the unfortunate things that has happened with this situation is the fact that Wall Street downgraded Michigan's bond rating to a negative outlook, I think now AA minus. That hurts local units of government, schools, the state, if we need to borrow in any way. So all in all, what we need to do is not only balance these budgets, but also begin to look at where Michigan is headed in the next 5, 10, 15 years and go in that direction. Needless to say, it isn't just government that plays a role. In fact, I'm not sure we play even the most important role. But the marketplace will do that, and the kind of climate, business climate, the attractiveness of it, overall that's set, hopefully will begin to help Michigan become more competitive in the days ahead. I want to talk a little bit about the school aid fund because it is on so many people's minds. Educators and parents, everyone associated with our schools, and we have excellent schools in this 15th Senate District. You probably know that our children are well educated. They go on to higher education in tremendous numbers. We're very proud of education here in the 15th Senate District. But they're concerned about this year's budget. The Senate, as I mentioned, we did reduce spending, and in that we were very cautious not to cut schools anywhere near what they thought they might have to be cut, with a $337 million shortfall, I believe, in the school aid fund. We managed to reduce the per student grant by less than 0.5%, or I think it's $34, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Now the governor is coming back and saying, if we don't do something, and she's not looking, unfortunately, Governor Granholm doesn't seem to be looking at the Senate plan really seriously, because she's now saying she would have to do a proration, or at least her budget director is stating that they may have to send a budget proration letter out that would cut between, what is it, about $125 per pupil. That's right, and that's serious. So I'm here to say, Governor Granholm, if you're listening, please look at that Senate plan that would only reduce it by $34 per student. In addition, this is a governor who said she wouldn't cut any money from the current year's per pupil grant. And unfortunately, sometimes it's hard to keep those kind of promises when you see sagging, very sagging revenues, and the sales tax in particular, really waning. So all in all, we are going back to Lansing. We are going to, I'm sure, put our foot to the metal and work very hard at not only balancing the budget, but keeping our state on the right track. Michigan is resilient. You've seen it before, haven't you?
Oh yes, yeah, we've come back from some serious economic problems, and the economy is dynamic, and we'll come back from this one too.
We'll come back, and a lot depends on more, I think, what we don't do to hurt the marketplace, but what we do positively to move the state forward with a balanced budget and of this year and then into next year, and then a new replacement for the single business tax, which, by the way, doesn't go away till the end of December of this year, so it's still bringing in revenues.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
But the replacement, we're hoping, will be such that in the next 2, 3, 4 years, new revenues will flow in because businesses are rejuvenating, coming to Michigan, and those that are here are hiring and investing once again. I want to thank you for being my guest. It's a difficult time, but as you said, we are resilient and we will recover. And working together, all of us, whether we're Democrats or Republicans, whether it's the administration or the legislature, we must come together and do the job that the people elected us to do. Thank you for being my guest.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Sure.